Hello, everyone, and welcome to WinCat Sports. Today, we are going to talk about recent Lions rumors, mostly Chase Young. He has been rumored to potentially be landing here, right? We are one of the favorites to get him. The trade I saw that you would give up for him would be a third-round pick and acquire to acquire him. Uh, he is younger. He might have more upside, but he was injury prone.
Well, it sounds like you're just getting basically the same type of player. Chase Young, if he's healthy, might be a better option than Okwara. But, they both had their injuries. And, I don't think Chase Young has really been healthy enough to even show what he's capable of. Two out of the 4 seasons he's been here, he's been injured, and he's only played in a handful of games these last 2 seasons.
He's basically less than 2 full seasons worth of games.
Yeah.
Like I said, 7.5 sacks.
And Okwara,
first year.
I mean, he's not the world's greatest edge rusher. And so really, honestly, I just, it boils down to money. Are you going to, what is Okwara's salary? Do you know? Are they taking a pay cut?
I have no idea if he took a pay cut. Speaking of which we can go into that, Harris, right?
Yeah.
As I talked to you earlier today. Harris took a $3 million pay cut, which makes me believe the Lions are planning something. So whether it's this trade for Chase Young, which I will let you finish it up talking, and then or maybe signing D-Hop. We will see what happens. But we'll continue on Chase Young first before we
Chase Young, it can't hurt. I mean, if you sign this guy for 1 or 2 years at a minimum salary just to see what he has, you're not going to pay this guy top dollar. He's not going to have a starting role right away because you still have, he was what Hutchinson was in college football a few years back.
Yeah.
He was the best edge rusher in the draft by far. But just injuries have just plagued him.
The one ACL tear he took his rookie year.
And we got other edge rushers that we can utilize. We got Houston. We got Pascal, who still hasn't proved himself. But Houston is turning out to be...
He's going to be
I
on
don't
the
want
edge.
to say it, but could this guy be better than Hutchinson? He looks like he's got quickness and all the skills. He just didn't have the notoriety of Hutchinson. So if we can get Chase Young at a good salary, a good contract, he could do nothing but help us, I think. Certainly can't hurt.
No, I think for what you said that they were offering, if that's the case, I mean, not losing much and you're gaining potentially an all-pro player.
Yeah.
It's, so if that's the case, I don't mind if they do something like in that direction. But like Ed said, we have, I'm more interested in seeing what James Houston does.
Yeah.
He could be the next Lawrence Taylor now.
I'm saying
dominate.
Well, only problem I have with getting Chase Young is your outside, as we've already mentioned, is pretty good. You don't need an outside guy. So unless you're going to get him and try to see how he could play on the inside, I don't see why you would trade for him. There's no real major point to trade for him. I know multiple teams are on the rumor mill to potentially be looking at him to trade, but I really don't think the Lions are looking at acquiring anybody through a trade. Even Quinnen Williams, I don't think they're thinking about anybody on that line. I think they're going to go with who they have, and they're going to potentially go somewhere else with what they've opened.
Right. If they stay relatively healthy, you look at that defensive line, it played well down the stretch last year, so I expect it to start out well. You have Comiskey, who was very good when he was in there.
He's a good solid role guy.
You have Bugs. You have this
Project Martin
guy.
You have Martin. I expect, oh God.
Houston, Hutchinson,
McNeil.
Aleem
McNeil. I expect him to play. To really get better. I expect big things from him this year. I think he's had 2 years to kind of learn the position, and he's gotten better and better. I expect him to be a force in the middle there. So I'm not really – their defensive line, if it stays healthy, is not going to worry me. I think with Campbell now in the middle, I'm hoping that that's an upgrade. I heard they're going to a 4-3.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
So and the defensive backs. I mean, you can't. I mean, that they're ready.
I think your defense is going to be pretty good next year. If you find a good addition to make, that's fantastic, right? You have filled out your defense. The only main concern, right, is the line, the interior part of that line. Are you going to be able to stop a rush?
Well, that's what that one draft pick Martin was supposed to be.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because he's a big guy, and they're just going to put him in there.
And like you said, you're expecting other guys to be even better this year. Maybe,
Well, Pascal, I think Pascal, this is a make or break year. Great year for him. He was our second round draft pick last year.
Right.
And
these are guys you
hasn't really had a chance to prove himself. So he's got a lot to prove this year.
I think, like I said, I'm very excited about what we're going to see. I'm not going to, I'm not like these other shows that we've been seeing and people going crazy and anointing them. But I just, because every other team is saying the same exact thing. You got people on. I was watching a Browns podcast the other day, and they think they're going to win 11 games. I'm like,
no, you're not.
Really? I mean, I guess. I mean, everybody thinks their team. Bears fans think they're going to win double digits. I don't see it, but it could happen. Well, the NFL, that's what makes it both frustrating and fun. Is just that it is.
Lions have no excuse but to win their division this year.
Especially with Dalvin Cook getting cut.
The Vikings just got rid of one of their better players.
Yes, but the Vikings are still the Vikings, and we'll see what they got.
But going into other rumor mills, just real quick, right? And as much as I know both you do not want him on the team, we are one of the favorites to land D-Hop. My opinion, as long as you sign him to a 1-year deal and you get it through his head that he ain't going to be the main target, I don't see why not.
Then why would he want to play here?
To potentially win.
If he's not going to be a main target.
Because you got to think, if you were to get D-Hop, right, as I mentioned in the other video, who are you going to double team? Name one person on the team you're going to double team.
Well, none
because you can't.
Receivers.
You can't double team any of
them. What was his stats last year?
I think the only reason I say 1 year, I will look up his stats real quick. The only reason I say 1 year is going to be a prove it year.
I mean, you're talking about if we're going to do this and you're signing some guy to $20 million, you expect him to be a 1,300 yard.
He's not going to be a part-time receiver.
So he had
the majority of the touches.
So in Arizona last year, he had 64 receptions, 3 touchdowns for 717 yards. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't doing much.
And this is a guy you want $20 million for?
No.
That's why I said only a 1 year. Only a 1 year. That's why I only say that.
All right, it would have to be only a 1 year.
It'd be a prove-it deal. You get another guy on a prove-it deal.
Seeing this.
And also, this guy is a known locker room disruption. He is a lesser version of Antonio Brown, but he is still a disruption. And that's probably one of the reasons why Arizona was glad to get rid of him.
Yep. And that's the only thing. I don't think you need him. And the only thing is if you get him, that's going to completely change how the offense is going to look. But regardless, even if you don't get him, right, you have 3 tight ends that can catch the ball. You have 2 running backs that can catch the ball. You already have 3
I wouldn't get the guy just on salary alone, what you would have to pay him.
I mean, are you guys, the way it is right now, are you happy with this team?
Yes.
100%. I'm pretty happy. I just want to, like I said, like anything else, health plays a major factor in all this. And if they can stay healthy, I just don't think they need to make any more big moves. They have rebuilt their backfield. They've drafted well in my opinion. Should be a fun year.
It's going to be very interesting, whatever happens. But I just said, I only bring it up the D-Hop thing because with Harris taking less money, right, he was probably going to get cut anyways. But you usually don't make those kinds of moves this late in the year unless you're trying to plan something. So that's the only reason I brought that up in the conversation. That being said, right, like, comment, subscribe. Do want to hear from you. Share the videos. And until next time, we hope to see everybody soon.